Good day, everybody, and welcome to the third installment of the Bayut Webinar here in Dubai, bringing information to you about the state of the current real estate market. My name is Spencer Lodge, and today we've got some new guests with some new information, some new ideas, and some new concepts to share with you so that we can make sure we're constantly bringing you guys the stuff that you need. You're on the ground, okay? Some of you are going through some challenges at the moment. Some of you are seeing opportunities, but it's important that we share as much information with you as we possibly can. So on today's episode, we have obviously the CEO of Bayut, Haider Ali, is going to be with us today. And on top of that, we have Loai Al Fakir, who's the CEO of Provident Real Estate, and Kieran, who is a director over at Rocky Real Estate. They've been here forever. So you're going to enjoy today's episode. Please take time, if you've got questions, to share those questions with me. I'll make sure I throw as many questions as I can that are relevant at the guys today to try and answer the questions you have, and so that you can get a better understanding of some of the areas that maybe you find challenging or you see as an issue. So let's welcome our guests on board. So Haider, Kieran, and Loai, come on in.
Hi, good afternoon, Spencer. How are you?
Hi, guys. How you doing? Hi, Haider. Hi, Kieran. Loai, how are you doing today? Okay, so let me just give you guys a bit of, you guys in the audience out there, a bit of an understanding. So Haider's obviously the CEO of Bayut, so he's going to be talking to you about the expertise he has in that area. Loai has been in the real estate business for a long time. Dubai is his home, has been across the secondary market sales, the off-plan sales, and the leasing market. And Kieran from Rocky Real Estate is a guy that's been a family business that's been going now, I think 45 years, he told me. So we're going to get some great insights of someone that's been through probably every cycle that Dubai has ever experienced, ever, when it comes to real estate, and some great insights there. So as I said, please feel free to ask your questions, and I'll make sure I bring them into the conversation and try and bring that value to you as well. So first of all, as I've said, welcome to you guys. You've got different perspectives. So I might ask you some questions that are the same question to each of you to see what your different perspective is on a few things that are going on at the moment. Let's make no bones about it. There's lots of stuff that we need to be aware of at the moment. Obviously, there's the coronavirus issue. We've noticed that there's a lot of people being made unemployed in the United States. We just saw recently that oil prices have gone through to zero on the West Texas trade, which is really interesting to see. Also on top of that, there's some news about companies struggling. But I don't know about you, but I really feel positive about the potential opportunities that exist here in the UAE coming up. I believe that, we can take the age-old thing, that we're talking about a lot at the moment, about people making babies and people getting divorced and that kind of stuff. And if you look at the residential marketplace, it's quite interesting. Does the divorced couple need 2 properties? Does the family with a baby coming need an extra house? And have a bit of a giggle about that potentially. But surely there's going to be opportunities in the rental market, both commercial and residential, and there's going to be opportunities for people to buy properties at prices maybe that they haven't seen before. So I see it as positive, but I'm not the real estate guys, you are. So let me just ask, I'll start off with you, Loai, get you involved in the conversation. When we look at the market as it stands at the moment, okay, what kind of changes have you had to introduce into your business, okay, throughout the lockdown to be able to cope with it and moving forward?
I mean, personally, on a business level, the profile of the clients is changing a bit. Obviously, right now, because of the lockdown, we're very limited to the movements. However, just before the lockdown, we managed to do a few rentals, some viewings. Agents are still communicating. What I really like, and I was talking to my guys yesterday, we've been using a lot of meetings using Zoom to meet our clients face to face, where we go on Zoom. Instead of just giving them a call, we go in, we show them, the floor plans on the computer, show them like the location, talk about the community, the facilities, amenities, that sometimes for international clients, you weren't really able to do that. You'd send them an email, you'd call them up, and they wouldn't get that emotional feeling of the property. Now, because of Zoom, even though Zoom's been around for a long time, it just never occurred to us to actually use it. Do you know what I mean? Now we're using it, and it's actually really, really good. And I've had agents, after we had the meeting, we discussed it, and we said, start using Zoom. And they started coming back, I had a meeting with my client. They loved me. I built great rapport with them. They're really excited. They're actually now considering buying now instead of waiting because of that rapport I built with them, and they love the project. So I think it kind of like made us adapt to the changes in a positive way. And I think these kind of things in the long term now, like even when the corona ends, COVID-19, I think we're going to be using Zoom for a very, very long time, and the changes that's helped us in that. And yeah, business continuing. Structurally, yeah, we're doing our meetings instead of obviously in the office, we're doing it on Zoom. And I really like it when I do my morning meetings with the team because it's engaging. It gives an opportunity people to talk. It also gets some focus. Sometimes when you're in office, someone's looking at his phone, someone's somewhere else, looking at his laptop. Right now, everyone's just focused on the computer, engaging, listening, and we're managing a lot more meetings. Like we'll have meetings with developers, they'll go in, they'll train everyone on their products, what's the payment plans, what's on offer, about the communities. So I feel there's quite a lot of positive that's come out from what's going on right now.
Yeah, I think some people kind of like might go into the fear stage at the beginning, but a lot more people are going into the pragmatic phase as well now, aren't they? You see the mindset of leaders of companies becoming more pragmatic and wanting to get this over with, and so we can get on and get back to work and do our stuff. Haider, you made an announcement this week that you shared with the real estate industry. Would you like to tell me just a bit more about that?
Sure. So, we I think that the past 3 weeks, the past 3-4 weeks, the past month has with mobility reduced has been tough on every business. I don't think anybody can say they've been excused by it or scared by it. But typically, the smaller the business is, whether you're starting off now or you've been around for a year or two, a lot of people will go into that business. Put in either their life savings or get some investment from somebody, because typically when you start a business, you're going to burn some money just building up the business, and cash flows are limited, and you're very careful with how you're spending your money. And I've always felt that because look, today we're this size, but at one day we were small, and we've come from similar areas. So I can really relate, I believe, to the people who run smaller businesses and with shorter cash flow windows, where that 1 or 2 deals or 3 deals or whatever they do in a month actually pays the bills, and whatever reserve they have, they're trying to do the best to make sure that that business scales from that point onwards. Now, I think those people are impacted the most. So what we wanted to do was as partners for the entire industry, not just kind of some set of people here or there, lend a hand to people who are the most affected by it. So we announced what we announced a few days ago, which was we give 23 listings to everybody who's not who's struggling, and it was really catered towards people who are running smaller businesses, who are in a tight cash flow position, because I think they are the most impacted by the situation.
Yeah, definitely. I completely understand that. I think that it's really interesting that you talk about that, because everyone starts small, don't they? I mean, all these businesses start small, just like yours did, and they grow, and people feel those kind of growing pains, and anything you can do, like you guys have just offered out, to try and support that part of the community, that business community, will I'm sure be gratefully received, and give people a chance just to keep moving forward as they just get through this tougher period. I think we all agree that it's going to be okay. Okay, we're going to get there out the other side of it. It's just this period that we've got at the moment that's just getting us through there. Tell us about your business, Kieran, because you're not a big user of social media. I don't see you much on it. I know you, obviously, but tell us a bit more about your business. You've been in business for how many years now?
It's been over 40 odd years. It's a family-run business. My dad, my uncle, they all set it up a long time ago, and predominantly our business has been property management. We do have an arm that does the freehold side to it, but a chunk of our business is property management, and it's all in the local area. You talk about Dubai, Karama, Dera. I mean, there are probably certain areas of Dubai, Spencer, you've probably never been to, where we have buildings.
I've been here 15 years. I would like to think I've been to most of it, but maybe not. It was a bit difficult finding your office the first time I went, though, so I'll concede that. How do you see how the market's changed over recent times? We've seen that somebody asked me a question the other day that 2008, how does it compare to now? And I saw that in 2008 prices were very high and they came down, but now the marketplace is considerably cheaper than it was, and considerably cheaper comparing to lots of other first world cities around the world. Do you think there's a big opportunity on the horizon here in the UAE to buy and get involved in residential real estate?
So 2008 financial crisis from my two bits it was a cash crunch problem for everybody. Everyone just did not have the cash flow. This time around, I think a lot of people have been a little bit more smarter, been a little bit more careful, have not stretched themselves as much as what they used to do in the past, because money was easy back then. Today the banks are a lot more stricter, banks are a lot more tighter. They don't extend too much. So from that point of view, people would have the cash this time around to buy property. From my understanding, I think it is a good time, but you also have to understand that over the last couple of months or 2019, it was a soft market. So it's just at this moment, what price do you get and what do you want to do with that? Are you interested? Are you willing? So you have to just be a little careful and not stretch yourself too much as well, because honestly, we don't know what's going to pan out in the next 6 months, how businesses are going to be sustaining, how everything's going to go back open, and hopefully things will get better. But we just have to make sure we preserve as much cash as we can.
Makes a lot of sense. Loai, you know that I'm a big fan of social media, and I have been and banged the drum of social media now for some time. Tell me, how important do you think it is for your agents to have a social profile?
I mean, look, it's very important, and you know, a lot of my agents in the office are quite active in social media themselves. And I feel there's a new word, that's social proofing, if you get what I'm saying. So usually when you're talking to someone, an agent, or even when I'm recruiting someone, I always go into their LinkedIn profile or their Insta profile or Facebook to get to know a bit about them. So even for recruitment, it's important. So imagine if someone's looking to purchase a property. He wants to know who you are and who he's dealing with. And he wants to see how credible you are. And they will go to look at your LinkedIn profile, your Insta profile, your Facebook profile, and they want to see what you're doing. And some people, they're creating like really good content where they're really adding value for the people and the audience. And I feel that kind of information right now is really needed in the market, because people are lost. They have problems and they have pains, and they need solutions to their pains. I have one of my agents that did a video the other day, which was really good, and it's gone kind of viral. He spoke about how the UAE's conducted so many tests that they're the 5th in the world in terms of COVID-19 tests. And he said they're the 3rd in the world in terms of percentage of population of 1 million, which kind of like gets people to go, oh, wow, Dubai's the place. They're doing all the right things. This is the place I want to invest in. All right, it's not directly related to property, but it's related to the country where they're investing in. And it kind of gives him credibility because he understands statistics and he's talking about it, and he gives value to the client. And there's a lot of things that we can help clients today. Like, for example, someone might have bought a property for 2 million. He wants to sell it. The current value is 1.5. He doesn't want to sell at 1.5. Well, guess what? We can help you now get an equity release on your property, say 30–40%, get your cash out, use that money for something else till we, overcome this short period of whatever it is, going to be a recession, depression, whatever it is. So if you're creating content like that and you're helping people, people really appreciate that, and they will come and they want to deal with people that have the knowledge and the experience. So definitely social media is very important. Being creative with your content is something I'm a true believer on. And as a company, okay, me personally, I might not be into the social media. I'm kind of always in the back face, as you know, Spencer. My guys in my office are a lot better than me. But as a company, we're doing our fair share. We're creating good content, good videos that we're, advertising on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, so people can see it, understand. So we're kind of doing it like a company initiative in social media instead of just me. But my agents are doing it, and hopefully maybe I'll be getting into it myself, as you can see right now.
Haider, this is interesting actually, because Bayut spend a lot of time and effort producing a lot of social media content. So clearly there's some real value to that, to your business.
Sure. And look, I mean, really appreciate Loai's perspective here. But what I can tell you is from maybe a little bit from the other end, which is, just being a consumer myself, where, I might have to rent a property or buy it. For me, the relationship between myself, us, my family, and the broker is based on trust. And one of that which is essentially we're looking for an advisor and a counselor. When we go and see a property, I want to know everything about it. I want to know about the development. I want to know about the building, and that is just truly based on trust. Which the sooner you can develop that trust, the more that you're going to find me batting for you as an agent. That's just I think I was sharing with you the other day that just before this lockdown, I was actually looking for a property myself, and the agent was taking us everywhere, and he was really, really good with the service. And I actually want to go ahead and make sure that he makes money from me. So given that, now if you follow the social profile, it is just a reflection of who you are. So whether it's your professional profile on LinkedIn or how people can see you, hopefully will help build that trust faster if people actually go and look for you over there. And if you're seen as an expert, then I'll come and seek you out. I'll come and ask for your opinion and your advice. So I think it's very important to be visible and talk based on facts and knowledge, because a lot of us need that advice. We don't buy homes every day. Most people don't. And but if I have to buy a laptop, yeah, I'm knowledgeable enough about what I need, or a phone. But when it comes to home, it's a specialized field, and the more you know, the more visible you are, the faster you can build trust, the better off you are. And I think social plays an important role.
Yeah, trust, such a big word, isn't it? Such a big, and also when people, it's not just buying a home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions anyone's ever going to make in their life in many respects. And so it's not only I need to deal with an expert that can help me understand real estate opportunities or marketplace. It's like, oh God, it's a big decision for me in my life, and a big decision for my family. So I want to be dealing with someone I can trust. Kieran, let me talk to you about social media, because I know you're a social media star. Okay, I know that you're all over the place. I know you've got millions of followers on Instagram. I've noticed that a lot. What stops you from embracing it?
Okay, just to come back to this, just as a joke, Loai posted this yesterday, and I tried to repost it on my LinkedIn. I tried for 5 minutes, and I just failed, and I just stopped. So just to give you insight, I'm not. It's just me personally. I mean, my team, from my marketing heads and including my wife, everyone tells me that you need to go get out there. You need to be a little bit more social online. But it's just not me. Maybe this is the first thing that I've done, and maybe this will open it up, and I might change.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Sorry, just coming back to what Haider said in terms of trust, and Loai was talking about social media. Another point that you need to also look at is the testimonials and reviews and what comments people have put on their social media, which is very, very important as well. That's how people will get that trust, because they've seen other people interacted with the agents and given their feedback.
There's nothing better than getting great recommendations from people that say you're good. I always say in whatever it is you're selling, the best clients will always be the referred clients, because they know that they're being introduced by somebody that already does business with you, and that trust is already built there. I think you guys over at Rocky have got such a huge portfolio of properties, and which means you've got a huge portfolio of clients. And so you've stood the test of time, and the fact that you've been in business as long as you have demonstrates that people do trust you and what you guys do. Interesting to see. Loai, how are your guys coping with not being able to do viewings? What's their alternative to viewings at the moment? Back 2006, I say this quite often, I bought 4 units in London online, and people say you can't buy property online. You need to go and view it. What's your view on that? Because I think differently.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened with us in the last couple of weeks. So we managed to do some rentals. So one of my agents even told the client, if you really want to see it, the door is open. Obviously, we always want our agent to be with the client when they're doing a viewing, but this time we couldn't. With a limitation with a permit in the last week, you can only leave your house every 3 days for supermarket or finance or pharmacy, which is urgent. So we're kind of limited right now. So agents are really focusing on calling their clients, talking about their property, getting more listings when it comes to the resale department and the leasing department. So when the doors do open up, we can go conduct some viewings and meetings. When it comes to the off plan, we've been doing meetings on Zoom, doing presentations on Zoom. And to be honest, we concluded quite a few deals in the last couple of weeks by using Zoom. We use also DocuSign. You can do the sign. Transfer of payments are still working. So business has happened. We managed to overcome it, but that's with the international clients, and it's more on the off-plan side of business. So yeah, it is happening. I feel in the next couple of weeks when the doors open for a couple of hours in a day, you can do your viewings and all of that kind of stuff. Right now, when it comes to sales and leasing, we're very, very limited, but I do not think that's going to last too long. I do believe in the next week or two, hopefully, the doors will open up and you're going to get a flood of people that are going to want to move home or been waiting to move home, because we got ready tenants, to be honest, that want to sign the contract, want to move, but they just don't know when can they move. You see what I mean? So let's see, time will tell. I think it'll be a short period and we'll be back to kind of the new normalcy of business, I guess.
Kieran, you've been a client at Bayut for many years. You've worked with those guys over at Bayut since, I think, almost from the very beginning. What do you like about the relationship that you have with Bayut? How does it work with you?
So Haider, my relationship manager, Sajjad, honestly, he's a friend. He jokes on with me, and that trust is there. That he's like family for us because he's been spending so much time with us in the office as well. He gives us insight, and at the time of renewal, and this I have to say is that he doesn't push. He sees what we've done last year. He sees my results. He sees the information, and the beauty is that you guys have a lot of info. Okay, the problem is that you have too much information for us to process, and he just sits there and he says that, why don't you try this, why don't you try that? He gives us that helping hand. That's the most important thing, and that's why we're still together. And your portal is very friendly to use.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Loai, let me just ask you the same question on that one as well. How long have you worked with Bayut?
To be honest, I was using Bayut like when they first opened, before they moved either properly to Dubai and became a proper portal. I was manually going on Bayut, listing properties manually myself and getting leads back in the days. Me and Haider spoke about it the other day. I can't remember, it was like maybe 2010 and 11. They had the portal going on, and I still remember they had that the chili sign as a hot property. Even back then they had it, and I used to use it and click it to get my hot properties up. So I've been a user of Bayut since day one. I'm very happy with him. Hadi's my relationship manager, and he's great, to be honest. He's regularly communicating with us, giving us some valuable data that can help us see what direction the market is going, where the leads are coming from, what kind of properties we need to list, how we need to improve our listings and everything. So it's been a great relationship, to be honest, and we're very, very happy and grateful to that.
Okay, good. Another question for you, Loai, because I've got some questions coming in here. I want to make sure I answer those questions. Are you getting the feeling that there's kind of like a pent-up demand starting to build up now? I know you kind of touched on it just now, but do you feel that there's this pent-up demand of people wanting to get going and start to move properties? Are you getting that kind of feeling?
Yeah, definitely. Look, like we were saying before, I got friends that have been calling me up and telling me, listen, I want to buy this XYZ property. I have a friend that has got a garden home in the Palm that told me, now, you know what, it's time for me to upgrade into a signature villa. I've got other friends also calling me. We're getting these type of leads. What I tell them, yeah, there's opportunities coming, but I feel, to be honest, right now, everyone, the sellers are kind of, they don't know where they are today. So a lot of them are not really bringing their prices down to what people want yet. But I do feel in the next couple of months, we're going to see drop in prices if this continues. And then you're going to see these buyers are going to come around that were on the side waiting to come and buy. And there's loads of them. And I'm sure we all know these buyers. They've been waiting for this time to buy their dream home, their luxury home. So we're going to find a surge of the luxury end of the market that people have been waiting for. They said, you know what, the price is too high. Now the price ain't gonna go any less. It's time for me to go in and buy my dream house, because end of the day, real estate is a long-term investment. And if you love something and you really like something, you're gonna buy it. If you want it and it's priced right, you're gonna come in and purchase that property. So yeah, we're gonna see different types of buyers coming in, and business is gonna continue. And I think there's a lot of people that have been waiting for this. And even in the rental market, people are looking to upgrade their properties. People are moving, say, from, I don't know, Discovery Gardens to JLT, JLT to Dubai Marina to the Palm. Palm, I don't know, you know what, I want to move now to downtown. There's a movement of people in different areas.
I sense that as well. I've been speaking to a lot of the brokerages out there, and I get that feeling as well. I genuinely do in the marketplace. I have this idea though, that imagine you've been locked up for 30 days in your apartment and you've been looking at a building site out of your balcony, and that's been your view for the last 30 days. Or even a partial sea view maybe because of where you live. Just this idea of wanting to look at something else, you know, rather than looking at the same view over and again. Maybe that's enough to want to prompt people to think about moving somewhere else. Right, let's just talk about digital for a second here, Haider, because I want to talk about traffic with you. I know you've touched on this before, but I think it's important that people understand a bit more about how traffic works. Could you just give us 2 minutes, like you've given me before and shared with me, so that I understood better how the traffic works for the platform and how it's valuable to the client?
Sure. Before I go there, thank you so much for the kind words, both Kieran and Loai, and for the shout outs to Hadi and Sajjad. We exist to service you guys, and it's because of the relationship that we have and the partnership that we have that we're around. So thank you so much. Very kind of you. So look, I think I touched on this in the last webinar as well. But what I want to emphasize is that the digital landscape is a very vast landscape. There's a lot that's going on, and more so even today, because all of us are just sitting and consuming that at home. And what I talked about last week also was that you have to be relevant from the time somebody even starts thinking about coming to Dubai, and you have to stay relevant throughout that journey. If you get somebody at that instant, and you captivate that audience and you keep them engaged, at some point they're going to come look for a job, they're going to look for a car, they're going to look for a house, they're going to look for other things, and then that journey, as far as the portal is concerned, as far as the real estate portal is concerned, that's going to we've done our job, they found a house, so we're probably not needed for another few years, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, whenever people want to move again. But our goal is to keep them engaged even throughout that period. So we're top of mind, because out of sight, out of mind kind of thing works even faster in the digital space. So you stay with them, you keep feeding them information that's relevant, that's there, and then when they're ready to come back, you're omnipresent. You're actually relevant throughout that journey. And you just have to look at it from kind of a lifetime journey, as opposed to a very short, narrow, oh, we're a portal. So that's why, when we're talking about it, what I said was that we produce a lot of content, which is not just, and this is very well thought out. It's not just, we just produce, obviously as a portal, we exist with listings and people can come and browse and all of that other stuff. But we want to capture that person the moment they start thinking about moving to Dubai. It has its appeal, or the UAE for that matter. The moment people start thinking about coming here for whatever reason, we want to be part of that journey, and we want to stay relevant throughout. And that's where we get a lot of traffic. And as I mentioned, we get we have about like 1.3, even north of that, million unique visitors just from the UAE, and overall 1.7 million. And out of those people, as I said, not all of them are looking for a home. But they will look for a home, small percentages. But so we want to stay relevant throughout the journey, and I think that's the approach brands and digital brands especially need to take, because you need to be ever present. How many of us remember brands that were there, but then have disappeared? And frankly, a situation like this to me acts as a catalyst to speed up things. We were talking a little bit about what's going to happen and what's going to, how are things going to change. A lot of habits have already changed. And we'll see this play out. But by staying home for 3 weeks, certain habits have changed. And so how relevant are you, when those habits are changing? And are you going to be part of the journey throughout? And you're going to act as partners to the consumers too. Buying a house is not the end of it. You run through other issues too. So, yep, that's generally our philosophy and take on that.
On that, can I ask a question? This is a question that I want to understand better. People talk about leads and then they talk about quality of leads. And whenever I hear that type of conversation, it's like, is it the quality of the lead or is it the quality of the agent? Okay, more so than just the lead. Do you think at a time like this, or have you found out at all at a time like this, if there's more people, because so many people are sat online now where they maybe were less so before, do you think there's people that are browsing through now far more than before, or is that number still the same as it was? Can you give me an idea of that? Just so that, I mean, it's not for the audience, this is for me, sorry guys. I just want to try and understand that.
No, so I think there are more people browsing. I think there's a couple of segments to your question. I think one is about quality of leads, and I think second is, are more people browsing? I think people usually would, if you own a property, you might want to come to the portal and check what are the current prices. You'd be concerned about your investment, I think. So you would come, people are generally, we saw a dip, but things have been recovering very nicely over the last 7 days. Literally day on day, we're seeing significant improvements, double-digit improvements in how lead volume is also going up. So people are, I think, browsing for various reasons. Some of them need to move. Some of them are just looking at the prices of the property, where things are. There's plenty of reasons. To your question about the quality of the lead, and if quality of lead is the quality is always good. That's my opinion, because what's happened now is that everybody is just so focused on doing a better job. You see, the market has contracted in terms of transactions, so everybody's so the level of service has gone up. That's frankly what's happened. And when that goes up, then people probably have more time sitting at home also, right? It's a fast world. So, but when things go down, there's more time available to have that discussion. So now people might actually be having an easier or longer conversation just because people have more time. But the need hasn't changed. The need has always been there, and it always will be there, even after this. It is the level of service, and I keep emphasizing this all the time, which is the better relationship you have with me as an end consumer. Let's just say I'm a person who's renting or buying. Talk to me, help me out. I'm going to back for you. So because people have more time, so people might perceive that okay, the deed is a bit more serious. They were always serious. It's how are you dealing with it? That's my take.
Yeah, it's an interesting point on that, because the quality of leads is discussed a lot of the time. It's the leads turning into a relationship, isn't it? And taking that relationship further. That if the people focus more on that would be so much more powerful. I got a question for you, Kieran. How many people do you employ?
In the office, it's about 140. Then we've got technicians, we've got security and all the other things who are outdoor guys, but about 140. And then we've got the sales team outside as well. So 140, 145 people.
And so tell me, how do you keep morale up? How do you keep the guys motivated at a time like this?
So we have discussions with every department on a daily basis, meaning one day is one department, one day is another department. So we speak to them. We have Zoom calls. And you have to also just want to point out is that the first week was a big learning curve for all of us. Every day was a new day. Every day was a change in process. Every day, we learned. My IT guy would tell us, we were on Microsoft, so Teams is there, OneDrive is there. I learned, there's lots of things that were happening on the first week because we were all learning. Okay, so just keeping in touch, speaking to agents who are, especially I'm talking about agents now, people who are living alone, who are going a little depressed or going down because it can get boring with where they live when there's nothing happening. So just keeping in touch with them is the most important thing that you've got to do. And honestly, Spencer, this time that we've had, you joke a lot more. You get to know them a little bit more because you're casually speaking to them on Zoom. You're not sitting in the office with a tie on and having just, let's talk about what we have on hand and let's move on. This is a little bit more intimate.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, having the opportunity, having a little bit of lightheartedness. I suppose a little bit of mental health has to be considered there, about the issues of people. There's many agents that are there sat in a one-bedroom apartment on their own, as much as there are agents sat there 4 to an apartment, and the other 3 are driving them mad right now. Being locked in for that amount of time is challenging. Have you faced any issues like that, Loai, yourself, from a mental perspective, mental challenges you faced in mental health? Guys, I know that you're a high energy guy, and I've known you, I've worked with you, I've been in your offices many times. It's kind of like you kind of like trying to drill that through them to keep them uplifted and keep their spirits high.
Yeah, obviously, you're going to have people that are going to be demotivated, down for different reasons, sometimes because of maybe family thing, business, financial, could be anything. But end of the day, we've got to take times like this. And for me, I've been reflecting, like I've worked more in the last couple of weeks than I've worked my entire life, to be honest. I'm doing things I haven't even done before. I've been taking courses online. I've been learning how to do Forex trading, and I've been trading successfully. I'm not telling you go trade to anyone, but that's what I've been doing while I've been sitting down Zoom meetings with my agents and discussing things and trying new ideas and marketing new things. And what I tell agents, I had one agent call me and say, you know what, I've been calling all my clients and I've been trying to give them positivity, and they're all, being upset and they're not really talking to me. And I told them, you're not Santa Claus. You're not there to give them positivity. Just talk to them, engage with them, figure out what their ills, their problems, and their pains, and try to find a solution for them. And when you figure out and you have a conversation with them and you can figure out what their pains and their troubles are, and you find the solution for it, that's when you can be a winner. There's people right now that don't know that interest rates are so low, that the value to loan ratio is going up. There's an opportunity to take loans today at a really discounted rate. You know what I mean? If you were looking to sell and you can't sell, you can take a loan. Some people are having problems on doing some payments, or they're having a problem with their tenant that he disappeared, is not answering the phone calls anymore. Maybe you can help him with that. Some client internationally was trying to transfer money, he wasn't able to. We can help you with that. Someone was trying to give a POA to do a transfer of a property, he wasn't able to. We have a service for that too. So figure out what his problem is and try to find the solution for him. And I think when you engage with clients like that, you will really get a lot better results. And regarding motivations, listen, it's only this is going to go on for a couple of weeks, 2 months at max, whatever it is, make the best time out of it. Sit down and enjoy your time with your family. Do something positive, maybe learn a language. If you wanted to learn Spanish, now's the time for you to learn Spanish. If you wanted to educate yourself, watch Spencer Lodge's educational show on real estate. It's really, really good. You can become a better agent. There's a lot of things that you can do right now while you're at home. Don't sit down. Don't let these 2 weeks be your downfall. Let it be your inspiration. Take advantage of it, so when it ends, you're a much better person than you were before. And I promise you, for me, talking about myself, I'm a lot better today than I was 4 months ago and 5 months ago. I've learned a lot, I've experienced a lot, and I think I'm more, when the doors open, they're telling me you're coming out to do business, I'm gonna be like a shark running around, happy, excited to get back into the market, to kill it all and succeed. And I think we should all feel this way, Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
That's the subject of training, Kieran. Okay, Bayut has its academy. How do you think the Bayut Academy can help real estate agents at the moment?
So, educating people is the most important. Like Loai said, you gotta learn. You gotta take this time to learn, and we've actually requested for trainings from our Bayut, in terms of how to look at what's the processes going on. The government is also evolving and adapting right now. You've got new that are out there that are helping transactions. So we've asked them to give us all of these online, so that at least our agents can understand better and how communicate with clients over a Zoom call or a telephone call, which they've done in the past, but just recapping on it. That's the most important thing. And they've done very good jobs, trainings in the past as well.
Okay, good answer. I'm getting a question asked, and I'm being asked that you can answer this question, Haider. Okay, with talks of Expo being postponed, how much lower do you think the market potentially can go, in your kind of expert opinion? Do you think it can be affected because it's being postponed? What are your thoughts on that?
So, look, Spencer, I'm a very data-oriented person. It's very difficult to predict the what's going to happen. You talk to me about tonight. I can probably tell you what I might cook for the kids, but beyond that, it's very difficult to predict. The reality is that the transactions have come down. The volume has come down, and in order for anybody to establish a model of what kind of discounts or what kind of price lower prices we're going to see in the future, it has to be based on transactional volume, in terms of transactional prices, because that's where the buyer and the seller meet, right? And we've been in this a few weeks, so I think as my co-panelist said, like if we start getting out of the situation with limited mobility and the volume starts picking up, 3 weeks is not enough, in my opinion, to move a market much in either direction. Now, if it's months and months, that's a whole separate story. But nobody can say anything on that, I think irrespective, there is going to be volume in the market. There are going to be transactions, and the community is going to be there to service that. So I think the focus should really be on which I think Loai also pointed out, and Kieran was also talking about, which is how can we help people solve their problems? What issues are people having right now? Focus on the present. Obviously, there's nobody who can talk to you about what's going to happen 2 months from now. I fundamentally think that as we start gradually opening up and transaction volume starts coming back, and if we just were in this period for 3 weeks, that's too short a period to basically cause a lot of movement.
Okay, fair enough, fair point. Okay, chaps, thank you very much for sitting and spending time with us and answering questions. Just before we finish, you got any final words to the brokers out there? Kieran, I'll start with you. Final words to people that own businesses like yours, or real estate agents and stuff, that you can share.
Yeah, so just keep in touch. Okay, everyone managers and everyone's been talking about keep in touch with clients, keep in touch with with your tenants, your buyers. I think keeping in touch with your associates in the office as well is the most important thing. They've helped you over the past number of years. They've you've held their hand. You need to hold their hand today as well, and you need to just be in today's moment and see what you can do for them. That's the most important thing. Yeah, buyers and landlords and tenants, and they're all there. You can keep in touch, but these are the guys. This is your backbone. So this is what I would say. Just just keep them going and keep them motivated.
Okay, thank you. Loai?
Yeah, thanks, Spencer. I would just say just be positive. No matter what's going to happen, if it's going to be another week, 2 weeks, a month, I think in the short term, will prices go down? Probably. I do not think so much. I would expect it maybe 5–10% more by maximum. 15, let's call it a day. But I'm a long-term advocate of Dubai. I think Dubai handled this very, very well in terms of tests, in terms of marketing themselves, in terms of doing the disinfection of the city. And I think the world has looked upon us and said, look at this small city that's done such an amazing job. And this is kind of where we feel safe to invest our money. And a lot of people are saying, instead of me having my money in the bank, I'd rather have it in a property in Dubai. So I think in the long term, Dubai is going to shine. So whatever struggles that we're going to go through in the next couple of months or 6 months, it's okay. The market is going to come back, and it's going to be good times later in the future. So I'm a long-term advocate. Regardless of what happens in the short term, business continues. Find out the pains and the troubles of your clients. Find the solution for them. And when the tide turns, just be ready to get on the ride. And we're looking forward to it.
Excellent stuff. And Haider, just finally from you.
Sure. So Look, I mean, I think the human race is a very resilient one, you know, and we're living in the most modern of times as a race. You know, we have the best facilities, we have the best, you know, infrastructure, and the world has gone through similar situations in the past with much less at hand, and has come through, you know. Yes, we were not alive, probably most of us, back, you know, when these things happened in the previous century. So we will get through this, you know, collectively, the world will get through this. I also feel that, you know, when faced with adversity, the best comes out. You know, I've always said that the last few minutes of the game are more enjoyable than the rest of the game that you watch before, because that's where the best play comes out. And this is the time to play your best game, which is to help your clients, you know, to be their counselors, to be their advisors, to lend that support, because that's how you win. That's how you win. That's how you win hearts. That's how you win people. And take care of each other. You know, this is the time to give. This is not the time to look inwards. It's time to extend hands outward. We will get through this. And then, you know, with fantastic people like Kieran and Loai and yourself, you know, I think your real estate is in really good hands. Couldn't have asked for better.
Excellent stuff. Thank you all very much indeed. For those that have been tuning in, okay, we'll be heading on to some training just very, very quickly. But I just want to say finally, Haider, Kieran, and Loai, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming to join us. And Kieran, I know you're not often on camera, okay, but you did a fantastic job. I just want to let you know that you did that. You were superb. So well done.
I'm gonna take a picture of this and put it on Instagram just for you.
Epic stuff, fantastic. He's actually doing brilliant, awesome. Okay, guys, right, let's go and do some training now. I want to talk to you about a few things. So if I can just say thanks to you guys over there, and we'll be cracking on with some training. For those of you, if you've got questions for me, please let me know what questions you've got. It's really important that we do our best in this situation. I want to try and spend a bit of time adding some value to you today. So for those of you that are sat there on your laptops, on your phones, consuming what I'm doing, please make sure you make some notes. Don't listen to what I've got to say and think you take away some great ideas and then not do anything with it, because I really believe right now is a really exciting time. I've been here in Dubai since 2005, and if you don't know who I am, then you probably don't use social media. But I've been here for a long time, and I'm 50 next month, literally 50 next month. So I'm older than a lot of people that work in the real estate industry. But what I've learned since I've been here, that if you don't evolve, then you get left behind. And evolution is really important. No matter what the industry is you're in, no matter what you do for a living, you need to keep evolving. You need to keep renewing yourself. You know, we're here on the webinar with Bayut today. And if we can go back a few years, those of you that were here 2005 and around that time, all of these adverts for real estate opportunities were all in the newspaper, the Gulf News and the National and stuff like that, Khaleej Times. And so we saw that industry evolve, didn't we? It evolved dramatically. And then companies like Bayut were established and were able to provide that facility in a digital format. Evolution is important. If you get stuck in the place you were at, then you won't be able to take advantage of new ways of doing business, new ways of engaging with people. I'll give you a couple of examples around that right now. A lot of people instantly went into lockdown mode in their mind when they couldn't do viewings. And when you look at real estate, there's obviously the secondary market, there's the off-plan marketplace, and then the leasing market. And if you were stuck in one of those three areas and you weren't quick to pivot, maybe you would be affected. However, people that are quick to pivot can see where the opportunities lie. I'll give you a very simple example, something I was talking about with another company this morning. My parents are retired. They're 75 years old, and they have a retirement pot of money. And that retirement pot, they need to get an income from that money. Now, there are 5 asset classes they can invest in. Real estate is one of them. Stock markets are another. The currency markets, commodity markets, or the fixed income markets. There's 5 asset classes. And right now, my parents, being low risk because they're retired, need to make an income. Well, they can't make an income in the markets, in the stock markets, for example, because we don't know where they're heading. But could they make a rental income from owning some real estate? Well, absolutely they could. So they're sitting on that money right now, waiting for opportunities to invest potentially in real estate that can give them a rental yield. And when you compare the real estate markets of Dubai compared to New York and Paris and London and Tokyo and Hong Kong and Singapore and Frankfurt and Munich and Madrid and Milan and Toronto and San Diego and Los Angeles and San Francisco, let alone Boston and Miami, what you know is that Dubai has been through a slower period, whereas the others have accelerated. So if my parents were to invest now in real estate, they wouldn't want to be buying at the top of the market. They'd want to be buying at the bottom of the market. So where is the market relatively cheap? And for sure, Dubai is a market that is extremely cheap. Now, how do you get my parents' attention? My mother is 75 years old, but she's an Instagram queen, as I say. She uses Instagram and Facebook a lot. Dad, not so much, but my mum definitely does. How does how do you get my mother's attention? Well, the way that you get their attention is by bringing valuable and bringing content to these platforms. And many real estate brokers and agents have shied away from producing content. Some have leaned into it, some from a company brand perspective, but also some as individuals. And my belief is always that you need to be valuable. Now, the term adding value is kind of loosely thrown out at the moment. It's for something that's kind of given away quite easy. I need to add value. But really, are you really adding value? Do you really add value? Because a lot of the time I see on social media that there's companies out there that are trying to make sales even though they have no credibility. And that credibility exists, it only exists because of what people think and perceive is value. So if you're a business that is constantly posting on social media, okay, your properties that you've got for lease or for sale, yet nobody knows you, nobody understands that you're experts at what you do, that means that they're not going to trust you. And my mum and dad are exact examples of that. And while they may be 75 years old, there's probably a huge amount of other retirees sitting right now on a pension pot thinking, how do I get that providing an income for me? And hence the reason why I think real estate is such an exciting opportunity, particularly here. So what content do you produce and what content avenues and platforms do you have? When you think about content, we've got the obvious names. We've got the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the LinkedIns and so on, and the Twitters and the TikToks and the Pinterest that exists out there. But how many of you have seen what you can do to provide valuable content on Bayut's platform, for example? Because Bayut have a platform, there's a huge number of people that go onto that platform every single day, and you potentially could add value by being an expert on the Bayut platform. Now, does that mean you might have to produce a bit of content? Does that mean you might have to think about the content that you produce? Well, yeah, but you have to understand, you have just watched the world change in front of your eyes. You literally have just watched the world change. In the last 4 weeks, the world changed. Everything changed. And in those 4 weeks of everything changing, what did you do to change? What did you do to pivot? Because you're seeing that change, you have to understand what you need to do as a real estate agent, a real estate broker, is you need to get people's attention. Once you've got their attention, then you need to bring value to them. And once you bring value to them, then you can be, as Haider said earlier on, you can be trusted. And being trusted is everything, because my parents aren't going to give their pension pot to anybody to look after unless they trust them. They're not going to respond to an advert unless they feel like they can trust that person. Or if there's the opportunity of 2 adverts, okay, they're going to go with the guy that's bringing some content and some value to them first. Now, you real estate people are experts in what you do. You can produce content in the form of a podcast, just like I do, and have the opportunity to interview and spend time with people that are movers and shakers within a marketplace you may want to lean into. Now, again, I had to change recently too. I preferred to do my podcast face to face. I'd rather sit in the room with that person and interview that person myself, because I would like to spend more time understanding their body language and how they behave with their non-verbal communication. But that wasn't afforded to me anymore because we came into lockdown. So I've had to go online and produce my content, produce my podcast online. Well, what have I learned? I can get a lot more episodes filmed very quickly. I can get those episodes filmed quickly, okay, because it's on my laptop and people are sat at home, so they're far more available than they would be normally. And so just that one simple change that's been forced upon me has enabled me to go and produce even more content with more people and bring more value to my audience. Remember, in business, you want to be as successful as possible. In real estate, if you're in sales, you want to be selling as much as possible. So being valuable from a content perspective is really important. But let's look at the other things that are really important to consider right now. If you're in the leasing marketplace, there is going to be an abundance of opportunities from a leasing perspective. There'll be landlords that are looking to rent their properties. There'll be people out there, I know, okay, that will be thinking about where they move next. Now, whether that's, again, as I've joked about, having babies or getting divorced, that's one thing. But think about it. If people think they can get an extra bedroom for the same price they're paying right now, they're going to look into it. If people think they can save a bit of money, they'll look into it. Those opportunities exist for sure. And because of that, okay, agents, you need to understand that that's coming your way. That's really in a positive way coming your way. Now, if you're in the secondary market sales business, then quite simply look at the opportunities again that will come your way. Dubai is a place that's price per square market, really good value. It really is great value, price per square foot. Sorry, price per square meter. And so leaning into places where people can buy real estate at a great value for money investment, Dubai is an opportunity not to be missed. And then what we have to remember also is that that secondary market means that there'll be people that will be buying into finished properties because of the loan to value ratio. Okay, people that will be buying, potentially selling a home and buying a new home. There's people out there that are sitting on money right now. There's a lot of people that have got money right now. Literally got a lot of money right now because they've had 10 years of success in the markets. Since 2010, the markets have pretty much rallied. Okay, there's been ups and downs and blips along the way. So there's a lot of people that sold their investments and now they're sitting on cash. And if they're sitting on cash, waiting to give it to somebody. They can't really leave it in the bank for too long because it doesn't make any growth and inflation's going to eat away at its value. So they've got to get it working. How are they going to find you and how are you going to find them? How are you going to get their attention? What are you going to do to engage with people to bring value to them so that when they think about making that investment, they lean into you? Have you thought about the difference between push selling and pull selling? Think about going out there and searching for your client as opposed to clients coming to you because they think they know, like, and trust you. So when we see these different markets, it's really interesting. Even take commercial properties. There's going to be companies now that may shrink, and they may shrink or they may outsource some of their services. And if they shrink, they might be looking for smaller or different office facilities than they had before, or warehouse facilities. So I think you're going to see an opportunity for people that are in commercial leasing in ways that maybe they didn't have before. So we've got commercial leasing opportunities. There's going to be the residential leasing opportunities that exist. There's going to be finished product secondary market opportunities as well. And if you consider these different marketplaces and the opportunities that are going to present themselves very, very soon, you want to be in the best position possible to be the most valuable possible. And that means taking some time to understand how LinkedIn can be your friend, how Facebook and Instagram can literally be your friend from a value proposition perspective. And if you take it seriously while you've got an extra hour a day at the moment, you can help build your audience. And if you build your audience and bring value to those people are likely to inquire with you when it comes to making a decision that they're likely to make in the not too distant future. Okay, so what I want to do is try and do my best. Nearly happy birthday. Thank you very much, Zainab. Okay, what I want you to do is not think in the same mindset that you have. I want you to get out of the place that you're in right now. What I'd like you to do is to start saying to myself, this is where I am. What can I do to move forward? Okay, how can I use modern tools and technology to help myself move forward? What am I doing to educate myself on these things? Now I say and I tease, there's great websites to learn all of this great stuff. If you want to know how to use social media more effectively, if you want to know how to use a particular platform more effectively, I'm sure YouTube and Google will have the answers. So lean into being curious. Lean into wanting to adapt and evolve, because like every industry, you're not on your own, but like every single industry, okay, you, okay, are going to have contraction, like every single industry. So if there's going to be contraction in your industry, it's the strong that survive. It's the strong that push through. It's the fighters, you know, the people that roll their sleeves up and get stuck in are the people that make it. And that doesn't mean you have to be William Wallace or a gladiator or with your shield and your sword ready to go to battle. It doesn't mean you have to be loud and boisterous about it, but you have to be ready for battle psychologically. You have to be ready to take advantage of opportunities that may present themselves to you. and the consumption of social media content at the moment is insane. It is off the charts. So take time to understand that people are staring at their telephones. You're staring at your telephones, and you will, okay, be able to take advantage if you produce some content. Another piece of advice I'll give you, every one of you has a database. Every single lead that you've ever received from Bayut is part of your database. Think about this for a second. Let's say, I'll keep the numbers simple. Let's say there's 1,000 people on 100 people on your database. You've got a database of 100 people. For the first time in a long time, people are answering their telephone. People were busy before, but now they're answering their phone because they're stuck at home. So imagine taking those 100 people on your database, pick the phone up and call every single one of those people, like without fail, call them. And don't phone them up to try and sell them anything. Phone them up, okay, because what you want to do is find out how they're doing. You want to see how they are and see how the coronavirus lockdown has impacted them and their business. You're going to get, in a conversation, get two responses. One response you're going to get is from people that are still in fear, very worried about what's going on and haven't got past that stage yet. And then you'll have other responses from people that are not in fear, that are very pragmatic and they can't wait, like Loai said earlier, just to get back on with it, you know, get back stuck in. Well, these people that are in that phase, okay, these are the people that are going to be your next clients. The people in the fear phase are probably not going to be your next clients anytime soon because they need to move from fear to that more pragmatic place. These pragmatic people, you need to make sure that you bring some value to them. So like I say, take those people and then say to them, can I invite you onto a Zoom call? I've got some information I'd like to share with you. And share some content with them, share some value with them. If they haven't got time for a Zoom with you, then if you produce content, then you can send that content to them to let them know. And it's not selling content, it's value content, facts, figures, data, okay, opportunities that exist, but not sales. And what you're going to find by doing this is they're going to take the people that are pragmatic to start thinking more about you when it comes to making that decision. And whether it's next week or the week after that we're out, it's very soon that it's going to happen. Okay, we're going to have the opportunity to lean into those pragmatic people because they'll be in the state of mind where they're ready to buy, ready to lease, ready to move. Okay, because they won't be wrapped up in their fears around the coronavirus. Okay, hopefully that makes some sense to you. I've got questions coming through here. Okay, what tips would you like to give for brokers who would like to establish their social media profile? Well, first of all, what I say to everybody is copy me. Go to Spencer Lodge on Instagram and look what I do. Go to Spencer Lodge on LinkedIn and look exactly what I do. Because if you copy me, you'll probably get the same result as me. And so, and you know, I'm hardly a really interesting character on social media for a lot of young people because I'm nearly 50 and I don't fit that typical mold of the kind of the millennial or the generation X or Y and everything else. I'm a guy that's a bit older, but I constantly try and produce content and bring value to people. So I think about the questions that people would ask. So in your case, I would think about the questions that potential clients would ask. What are the questions they're asking? What are they thinking about? And what are you doing with that information? And how are you then creating a 1-minute video? And it's not about having a fancy system and fancy lights and all this kind of stuff. All it is taking your phone, holding it in your hand, whichever way you want to, for whichever channel, and literally talking to it, making a video and talking to it. And the great thing about making a video, for example, is if you don't like it, you can delete it and you can make a new one. Exactly the same thing as producing content. If you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see that I produce content on LinkedIn on a regular basis where I engage people by asking them questions. Why don't you reach out to all of those people on the database that you've got and send them a message or talk to them on the phone, probably better talk to them on the phone, and ask this question. What information do you think would be valuable to you? If I was to make content that would help you, what type of content would you like? And what you're going to find by doing that is that your audience, your customers, your potential customers, your prospects, if you start giving them what they want, wow, okay, think about how powerful that's going to be, giving them what they want. It's so incredibly powerful. So that's what I do. I want everyone needs to get past this whole I'm in fear of getting in front of the camera. Look, there's not a single person that when the camera goes on the first time you do it, you're comfortable. It's uncomfortable. The first time is always uncomfortable. The second time, uncomfortable. The third time, yeah, it's still uncomfortable. It takes much more. Okay, it's like practice makes perfect. It takes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times for you to start to get in the flow. Well, if you make 7, 8 videos, and those 7 or 8 videos you make, they're not good enough, you just delete them all, and then 9, 10, and 11 get better and better, and then you're in the place. So it's practicing. And again, while you're at home right now, you have time to be able to do that kind of stuff. It really would make a big, big difference if you were visible on social media. And so for me, visibility, bringing value to your prospective clients, remaining positive and upbeat, and more importantly right now, remember, there are opportunities, phenomenal opportunities for experts in what they do. So keep upskilling yourself. Learn to be a better real estate broker. Learn to be a better real estate agent. Don't be cocky. Don't be arrogant. Be humble. Because if you're humble, you're open to learning. Don't think you know everything. Think you could always learn something more. And lean into a time like this when we've got a bit more time, lean into learning, because I'm pretty sure, okay, it will help. In fact, I'm not. I'm very sure. So hopefully that's been valuable to you. Just wanted to give you a bit of idea around stuff. There's so much that I can spend time talking to you about. I could literally talk for the next 3 or 4 hours, and I'm very aware I've only got 30 minutes to talk to you guys. But hopefully you've got some snippets here, a little bit of information, a little bit of help you've got. If you've got questions for me, you want to follow me on social media, you can. If you want to ask through the Bayut team, you can. I'm here to help. I'm here to be valuable to you. I understand what's going on. I am empathetic to the challenges that you're facing. Remember, I've had to pivot too. And what we've got to do now, though, is lean in. All right, we've got to lean into our situation, and we've got to focus on the things we can do, the difference we can make, how we can engage in a different way, how we can bring value to our audience, how we can help our clients, okay, get in a better place than they were before. So hopefully that's been valuable to you guys. I've really enjoyed talking to you this morning. Okay, if you've got any, oh, actually, one more question we've got here. Let me just see if I can do that. Okay, reliable sources of data. You know what? If you just Google on Google. If you go into Google and you type in latest real estate data on the United States, if you take latest real estate data on New York, if you do it real estate data on a subsection of New York, a certain area, if not. There's loads and loads of websites that offer that kind of data. You just got to put a bit of time into doing some research and you'll find it. Just like when you go to Bayut's website, there's so much data and information on Bayut's website. So often the people go in and just look at the listings, agents look at the listings. There's so much more in there, so much more value in there. You should look in there, give it a try. It's really worthwhile. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your time today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the session. I'll gladly come back and do some more. Just let the guys at Bayut know if you want some more training. I'll gladly tie some on the back of some of these sessions if it's valuable to you. But for now, hope you enjoyed the session. I hope you enjoyed Loai and Kieran. Some of you might not have known Kieran. Okay, great chatting to Haider. Great getting guys with some good energy, some positivity. And you know what? Okay, we're going to be okay, you know. We're going to be okay. Have some faith. We'll get there. Thanks very much for your time, and I'll see you all very soon.